Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? I do apologize for this video being up a day later, but I hope you guys still had a nice holiday and you guys got together with all your families and friends, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And so without further ado, let's get on with the video. What happened today in this video is I want to talk about Apple in terms of their creativity and what their plans are, and there was an interesting article that I read, which the link to that will be in the description below. And basically, it's mentioning how Apple hasn't really done that many improvements and that much innovation. I mean, that's what it's specifying as a whole, because it looks like Apple is starting to run out of ideas. For instance, the Mac Pro. I mean, yeah, they did a huge design change, like I think was a year or 2 years ago or something. But they haven't updated the specs in a long time. Same thing with the iMac. Yeah, and other than that, the Mac desktop line hasn't really been upgraded that much. I mean, they might have did slight upgrades here and there, but then they haven't really gone through big changes with that. And it seemed like most of their focus was on iOS. But even the iPhone, I mean, the iPhone 7, it's still the same design as the iPhone 6. Except, there were some design changes like no headphone jack, better camera, better processor, faster processor speeds. But I mean, the design of the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus are pretty much the same thing as the 6 and the 6S models. I mean, Apple hasn't gone through that much improvements. And this article specified that Apple has kept the same design for 3 years in a row. And after I thought about it, it's like, well, haven't they done this before with the 4 to the 5? But after I thought about it, was like, you know what? They kept like the same similar chassis design, but it's actually not the same design exactly. Because don't forget, from the 4 to the 5, you got an increased screen size by 0.5 inches. I mean, you went from 3.5 to 4 inches, and now you went from 4 inches to 4.7, and then 5.5, and then the screen size remained the same. As well as the design pretty much, but with additional colors. So you got the jet black, and then you got the matte black. Excuse me, I almost called it space gray, but now they refer to that as matte black. And just look at the iPhone 7 compared to the iPhone 6. It's still the same design, except they just redesigned the antenna bands a little bit just to make it look different. They redesigned the camera holes for the 7 Plus and the 7. The camera is still protruding out of the casing by so much. It's like Apple hasn't really done that much when it comes to innovation. And now everyone, whoever were Apple fans from the past since 2007, are getting confused as to what Apple has planned. Even myself, because at this point, I mean, what I've been saying for the last couple of years is like Apple, they're trying to innovate, but their software is made to just work. You can't do as much customization as you can do with Android. And of course, some of you guys may be wondering, okay, what kind of customization? How is it more advanced than iOS? I mean, because Android, you are not locked at all. Apple, you're pretty much locked. They control the software and everything. You mostly do syncing through iTunes. If you're still doing that method, unless you're syncing to the cloud, but I don't know how you're transferring music from the cloud to your device. Well, unless you're buying your music through iTunes. I mean, I got music stored on my computer already, so I'm just syncing it from my computer directly onto my device. And Android, I don't need third-party software to sync my two devices, to sync my media. I can open up File Explorer and then just copy it over to my device. That's it. And it's even better and faster if I have a micro SD card. Pop it into the SD card adapter, pop it into the SD card slot, and then transfer it that way. I mean, I have tried to sync with my Mac before. That's the only downside of Android, but it hasn't worked out too well. So, what I've done was, okay, take the SD card, pop it in my Mac, and then copy it over, take it out, put it in my phone, and then, I got it right there. as long as I don't change the file format and keep the file format the way it is so that it's recognized on my phone. So up to this point, I'm thinking Apple has run out of ideas, and what are they going to do next? Who knows? And you know, maybe Apple should start in and look into how other manufacturers are doing, and you know, look into considering creating another line of products to compete with the competitors out there, like the Windows 10 PCs out there. I mean, you got tablet PCs out there, and Apple doesn't have any. You know, and I don't count the iPad, believe it or not, because that's not running the desktop operating system. That's running a mobile operating system. iOS was first imported onto the iPhone. And you know, you got Windows 10 PCs that are running desktop operating systems on it. But maybe the hardware was a little bit low spec, but the operating system may still be running properly. So I don't know if Apple wants to consider taking Mac OS and then put it on mobile. I mean, yeah, you know, you got the laptop computers just fine, but no, not everyone can afford that kind of price point for a computer. You know, that's why they went to PCs. And also, it also depends on people's personal preference. But, you know, personal preference, how often are the sales going because of that? You know, Macs are not in high demand from what they used to be before. Now, you know, everybody is looking into PCs, and you know, the Macs at one point they were started low, but then they were finally catching up. Now they're just stalling over there. I mean, like my mid 2010 MacBook Pro right now, I mean, it's still doing me good, and I'm not. I don't know if I'd be looking to upgrade anytime soon. You know, probably not, because I do want to build myself a custom built PC one day, and then after that, get a very good Mac later on for video editing. But I mean, other than that, this laptop is still serving me well. I mean, I got this used. I didn't even get it brand new. You know, all I had to do was like, okay, you know, get a new battery for it, put a solid state drive in there, because the original hard drive I had in there was a 5400 RPM. It was slow as crap. Put an SSD in there, boom, the thing's blazing. So it's like, at this point, what is Apple gonna do? I don't know. And I'm actually curious to see what's going to happen for 2017. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think Apple has finally run out of ideas? Do you guys think that Apple will be able to innovate more? I mean, I'm pretty sure they can. I think they would have to consider opening up to another line of products. And if Steve Jobs is here, I'm thinking he would consider the same thing, but he would kind of add his own twist to it. For instance, you know, Apple wasn't the first one to invent the smartphone, but smartphones were invented pretty basically, I would say. I mean, with the first Blackberries out there and the first Windows mobile devices out there, and then when Apple stepped in to create their own smartphone, that's when they changed it all. You know, instead of having a physical keyboard on it, you know, now they got a full touchscreen with just one button, the home button, and you know, you got the on-screen keyboard on there, and you know, they learned so much from that first generation iPhone. Now they added an app store to it, so you can download third-party applications on there. So I mean, Apple has learned a lot, and you know, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to innovate more. The question is, how can they do it in a way if they can create a new set of products that no one has ever thought of before, or they can take a current lineup that's out there by the competitors and see how they can add their own twist to it, just like how Steve Jobs added his own twist to the iPhone. That's what I see. I don't know. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.